Hi, welcome to You, Me and Mediumship. Seems like forever since I did a video. It's just life gets in the way. It's been very busy and teaching new students and what have you. It's been a bit mad to say the least. But anyway, here we are. I thought I'd take this opportunity because things happen for a reason. I don't believe in circumstance at all. Things do happen for a reason, and a little story that was told to me the other night by one of my students. We were talking about holding on to that connection, and sometimes the lady finds it quite difficult to hold on to it, and obviously we're working on that at the moment. But she told me a little story about when she was a little girl, how she would go off into the bathroom, turn the lights off because it was the only room that she could get total darkness. Not too sure why she needed that, but I guess it wasn't maybe not so much the darkness, but maybe more the peace, that space. And she would sit in there as a little girl and talk to her, or what she called her spirit family. And she knew that they were there. She could see them, she sensed them, and it was like just talking to one of her friends. But it was so natural for her to do that. There was no effort involved, no ritual, no procedure. There's none of that. It was just purely a natural thing that she could do as a small child. So we was talking about sitting in the power, as it's called, when we sit for self and we sit for spirit. And we were talking about the purpose behind that. And obviously, it gave me, well, the words just came into my head, and you are simply, when you're sitting in the power, you are simply becoming that little girl again. Or little boy. So it is as simple and as natural as that. There is no procedure. There is no method. We simply sit in that space. And as a child, it's a very, very natural space. We don't question it. We don't go through the process. We don't go through a meditation. We simply go and sit in that silence. So when we spend hours listening to technique, reading that book, listening to that video, when all we are doing really is going back to the truth of our childhood, the knowledge of our childhood, before all this life, if you like, got in the way. So, if you're struggling for any reason, just remember the innocence of that childhood before all this so-called knowledge was plastered on you. Because you were probably nearer the truth then than what you've ever been. And like I said a few minutes earlier, you bring that truth with you. It doesn't go anywhere. You just simply bury it away. So by sitting in that silence, you are rekindling that truth. You are allowing it to rise again, if you like, a bit like the phoenix out of the fire. You are simply allowing it to express itself just by simply sitting in that space, in that silence. It's worth just sitting sometimes thinking about that. Thinking about that naturalness. Because that's all you are trying to achieve. This isn't a party trick. It's not really something we turn on and off. We control it, but it's not something that leaves us and then comes back. And I say that and explain it sometimes because I've got one or two students who practiced mediumship a few years ago and then had a break from it for a number of years because of, maybe sometimes it's personal reasons or whatever. But they feel like it's left them because they walked away from it. And you can't get farther from the truth. It doesn't leave you. It's always present. And the problem is, you kind of induce that line of thought. You think, oh, I haven't practiced this for a few years, therefore it must have gone. So you're telling yourself, you're making yourself believe that that is the case. And that is a big mistake. It doesn't walk away. And if it does feel that way, just simply ignore that thought, oh, I've lost it, and just go and sit and allow that to rekindle itself, that truth to rise again. So when you go and do your first reading for someone, or demonstration or whatever, you're simply becoming that little girl. You are listening to that truth. You are attuning again to that vibration of truth. Never feel as if you might not get anything. You might not sense anything. Because again, you are simply telling yourself, you are building your own brick wall by making that statement. Spirit knew of that reading well before you did. They knew that that reading would happen. The last thing that energy of spirit will do is not be there. It was planned well before you arranged it. So just get into the mindset of knowing that they will be there. And all you have to do is become that little girl again and listen to that truth. Open up to it, and you will sense the energy that is there, waiting to pass on its message. So like I said, the truth is always there, and all you have to do is listen. So, like I explained to my student on that evening, when you sit in your space, sit in that power if you like to use that expression, You are simply rekindling the truth, the knowledge, the wisdom that you brought with you. You are allowing it to resurface, if you like. And obviously, the more you do this, the more you rekindle that truth, you allow it to emanate from you naturally. In everyday life, that light will emanate from you. So when you go and do that reading, you will naturally be attuned to the energy that draws close. No procedure, no magic rituals, no meditations. It will naturally emanate from you. And when you work and you're doing your readings, Spirit are aware you are working. They will merge with you. Like I said, that reading was planned well before you even knew it was coming along. They are there and they will work with you. We need to drop that fear, that misunderstanding that we're being taught about the method of mediumship. Like I said, it's not a party trick. It's not something very odd or unusual. It is something that is very natural. We just have to learn to work with it. Anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. So I thought it was a good way of trying to explain what's going on when you're doing that sitting in the power. You're going back to self, that little self. You're simply doing that. The self that contains all that understanding and knowledge, that love and that light, that innocence, the truth. Allow that to happen. Don't expect anything. Sometimes you will sense Spirit draw close, because obviously you are emanating that light is coming from you. Sometimes you will sense them there when you're sitting. Sometimes you will get an image of them. You may be lucky. You might receive that vibration of thought, that sound. A little bit of wisdom. It's a beautiful space to sit in. Just simply allow, simply be, forget the process. There isn't one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, please subscribe. If you're interested in becoming a student, then I'll put the link to my Patreon in the description. Doesn't matter if you're not. I just hope you enjoyed the video and it's been of some use to you. Take care until we meet again. Have a lovely evening. Bye for now.